the most effective strategy, it's when you build your brand based on your internal culture. So your internal culture should be strong enough, should be unique enough, and people really should share this perspective. And when your employees really understand why you're unique, and it makes them proud of working with your brand.
Welcome to the All-in Recruitment podcast by Manatal, where we explore best practices, learnings, and trends with leaders in the recruitment space. If you like our content, please subscribe to our channels on YouTube and Spotify, and stay tuned for our weekly episodes. My name is Lydia. I'm your host, and joining us today is Yana Romanova of Semrush. Pleasure to have you with us today, Yana. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good evening for you, Lydia. Happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
So, Yana, walk us through your journey in the employer branding space. So, what are some moments that have, really shaped your experience so far?
I guess I can mention two key points here. First of all, the fact I joined my current employer, Semrush. It was 7 years ago, and this fact provided me opportunity to work with really international market, to work with different people from different cultures, to understand them better, to find some creative ways to solve some problems. So this is definitely was very useful for my career and for my perspective on employer branding. And the second point, it's quite life-changing, I would say, is the fact that I moved to Berlin, Germany, where I'm living right now. And it was really life-changing event for me. And by doing so, I focus on 3 main countries for our company. It's just Netherlands, Germany, and Spain. And I provided opportunity to go deeper into target audience, culture, languages of these 3 countries. And again, it just boosts my experience because it just broadens horizons. And when you understand people better from different point of view, it's actually influence to your work, because we work with employer brands. This is in marketing, people emotions, people feelings, people way to think, to make some decisions. And the more diverse understanding you have on your side, the better for you and for your future campaign.
Yeah, that's right. And in terms of your focus in this space, what are some key areas that you're looking into, right?
Key areas, actually, this question, right on time, because we, together with my team, we just wrapped up a strategic session. It was 2 days of brainstorming, and main goal of it was to create roadmap of project for the next year. And my key focus here, and I guess for the following 2 or 3 months, so I should find the way how to combine 2 different approaches. First of all, we should care about brand globally, and it's our current strategy and past strategy as well. So global brand, but at the same time, we should use some tailored approach with our key stakeholders, because we have them from different areas like marketing, development, sales, and they actually hire people from all over the world in different countries. And we should localize our strategy, localize our messages, but at the same time to keep uniqueness of our brand and identity of our brand. And it's quite tricky. And this is our challenge, I would say, for the next year. But I guess it makes the next year more exciting, more interesting for us. So it seems to me we found the way how to do so, because we generate some ideas, create some projects. But this is my main focus right now.
So you talked about collaboration, right, with different stakeholders inside a company to really create that cohesive brand. So in terms of initial ideas on how to make this really happen, or have you had any different kinds of collaboration strategies so far with the different stakeholders in the company?
Yeah, for sure, because we try to serve as an agency, mostly within the company, so they can ask us for help, and we mostly help with hiring. We try to attract as many loyal candidates as we can, or maybe not loyal, but our goal also to make them actually loyal to our brand. I collaborate for sure with them and my team. Also, if you speak about marketing as one of the department within the company, for us, I have heard a lot of stories when it's like some clashing between employer brand and marketing because, we have just quite common area. But in our company, I don't know why, but historically there are no clashes. They work on product. We work on employer branding promotion. And, only the way to collaborate with them. And actually we started to do it not so long time ago. We try to use one messages. For example, they launched a huge campaign, really huge one, because we are quite big brand, with some slogans, some messages, and we adjusted our strategy, our campaign with the same message. For example, last campaign was about success, and it's called Make It. And they try to explain, people try to highlight the fact that success is not as it used to be, right? Right now, it's not about big, good, expensive cars, beautiful houses and high fences. It's actually about something different. It's about your own world, your inner world, I would say, about harmony, about love to what you do. And we just adjust our strategy as well. We launched same campaign with same slogan, Make It. And it was very successful. People were very responsive to that, but it was with focus on employer branding to our roles.
Right. And in terms of these employer branding strategies, right, this is one of those that you've found to be very successful. But in terms of any other kinds of innovative strategies that you have tried in the past or you have seen in the past, what have you found to be most effective?
Most effective for me, it's probably the most effective is not very innovative. Let's be honest here, from my point of view, because the most effective strategy, it's when you build your brand based on your internal culture. So your internal culture should be strong enough, should be unique enough, and people really should share this perspective. And when your employees really understand why you're unique, and it makes them proud of working with your brand. So it's easier to promote employer brand. So, it's like a 0.0 start point, work with culture. And after that, you will have plenty of brand ambassadors, plenty of people, loyal employees who will be ready to share your content organically, or without any request, because they're really proud of their culture and the company. So I guess, it's the most successful approach in employer branding, because by then, of the day, candidates' expectations and realities, they should be matched, right? And it's only like if you have something internally, promote it. But if you don't have it, don't say about it in your employer branding campaign.
Yeah, so in that case, employer branding is dynamic, especially in a very competitive space that Semrush is in right now, like tech analytics. So how do you keep that employer brand dynamic and really speaking to the kinds of people you want to attract?
If only I would know the right answer here. But about my experience, I guess key here is constant experimenting. Be flexible enough to stop initiatives that don't work for you anymore. If you see it, please stop immediately and switch your focus to something else. Try it, experiment, be brave enough. And I hope company you work for will provide this opportunity. For example, luckily we're not limited here at Semrush with all our experimenting. If you have dynamic within your team, within your approaches, and directly will influence the brand and its dynamic as well. Also, as additional advice here to keep dynamic, closely follow your competitors, closely follow leaders, influencers in your industry, because they can share some insights that could inspire you as well. It's quite generic advices that could work not only for employer branding sphere, but I guess, this is what I can recommend.
Across departments as well, right?
Yeah, across departments, sure, especially marketing.
So in terms of measuring the impact, how do you measure and communicate that employer branding impact or ROI to the different stakeholder groups inside a company?
Okay, how we measure it? We have numerous of metrics. It's about awareness. It's about sources. For example, how exactly we get CVs, yeah, which sources, which channels bring us CVs. Also, it's about time to hire, cost of hiring, and all these metrics. But how do I communicate it to our stakeholders? Actually, I did it very individually because I know exactly that different stakeholders require different information. And I try and do not overwhelm them with all our metrics because in general, all of them care about how many people we hire, how many people we cover with our activities, and maybe from time to time, I also show them how brand activities influence to the time to hire. Because ideally, all your campaigns should reduce time to hire. I share the funnel, regular funnel, how many people on the top, how many people we cover, just our awareness, our total reach, and at the end, how many people will hire because of HR brand. And between them, how many people go from the reach to the interview stage, second interview stage to offer and to hire. And in most of cases, funnel is quite self-explanatory and cover main needs from stakeholders. But again, it depends because someday I had a stakeholder who wanted closely look to our Meta ads board, like to see how campaigns perform like in real time, all the metrics. It's also like, it's not a problem for sure. We provide this information, but it's rare case. But yeah, I guess you should be flexible here.
And in terms of, working with HR or rather working with talent acquisition, what is the communication like between the two? How do you really collaborate to make sure that you get the talent or you get the kind of candidates that you desire for specific roles?
With talent acquisition, this is like we constantly work with them. We have common channels, common meetings. We also have process. We should receive information about main hiring challenges, right? Firstly, about candidate portraits, who exactly they're looking for as they try to reach. And secondly, which challenges they have on this journey. So we discuss it. But it's not like, quarterly or annually process. It's just daily work. Close work together. As for HRs, again, this is our organizational structure. Yeah, we are in one department, and it means we again work closely because we have weekly meetings, bi-weekly stand-ups, monthly demo. So it's also help us to see what about turnover, what about headcount plan, what's going on, what's our main priority within HR right now for the whole company. Yeah. So maybe, our position and our place within the company organization just solve most of our possible problems because we are within HR and we're like, here HR, here recruiter, we're all together.
Yes, that's right. And so, you've had this experience looking into employer branding for a pretty large brand and also looking at how dynamic that space has become, right? So what advice would you give someone who is starting out in the employer branding space today?
Oh, it's my lovely question, really. Because I guess, first of all, you should understand why your company or your brand need this employer branding. And you can ask this question to SEO, to people who hired you, or to manager who decided to establish this department. Ask this question, why do you need employer branding? It's very important because based on that, you can build your strategy. Believe me, answers under that could be completely different. And it's not only about awareness. Some people could mean like by that, culture, internal one, or communications. It depends. So start with this question. And once you understand the answer and build some strategy, try to see how you will understand that you actually achieve this goal, because it should be measurable. For example, imagine that they will ask you to increase awareness. Okay, how you will understand that you actually increased awareness? Will it be enough for you if you will stop 10 people on the street and they will reply, yeah, I know this brand. Will it be enough? Or maybe you need 50% of population, who should be aware about you? It's also quite important. So these two questions, I guess it's a good start for everyone, not only for those who just enter this sphere, right? And like on a junior positions, but also for people who start to work on employer branding in a new companies as well.
So, yeah, I just have one additional question on top of this. When you're looking at why you need an employer brand, and also handling that employer brand is not necessarily a straight road, right? So sometimes you're hit with negative feedback coming from outside, or you've got to navigate around a crisis situation. So how do you go about handling that from an employer branding perspective?
Oh, it's a huge destination of work, and we call it online reputation management, but it's not sometimes in most of cases, it's about online reputation, sometimes about offline as well. We try to go deeper in each case. For example, we receive a negative review on Glassdoor. We try to collect information, what was under the case in a real life. So we try to share it with recruitment or with HRs, ask them what was the case, who was involved. It's not about to punish somebody, with that. It's just to understand the real case under that and to be able to craft the answer, very, very unique one, because we are not a huge fan of using some, similar replies to everything. We really try to address the case, try to solve it, try to offer some help if it's possible from our side, or provide our contacts for further discussion, but not in the open space, somewhere in direct messages.
Yeah, because this is obviously a space in which employee branding teams would have to face as well while crafting that, and also monitoring what is coming through in terms of feedback and experience of a candidate. So Yana, thank you very much for these insights and especially your time today. So for those who are listening in, probably curious about starting their employer brand somewhere or wanting to know a little bit more about what you've just shared, where can they contact you?
LinkedIn, I guess, is the most effective way to reach me out, and I'll be happy to see your messages, additional questions you might have. Please,
Excellent.
It's easy to find me there. Use my name and company name as well.
Yes, indeed. Thank you again, Yana. And we have been in conversation with Yana Romanova of Semrush. Thank you for joining us, and remember to subscribe. Stay tuned for more weekly episodes from All in Recruitment. Thank you, Yana.